Whether it's a quick meal at a fast food restaurant or a culinary feast at a renowned 5-star establishment, Americans trust that food served in public places is safe to eat. Here in Fulton County, the job of regulating the 4,700 food service establishments in the county is overseen by the Environmental Health Services Division of the Department of Health and Wellness. Environmental Health Services inspects and issues the required restaurant permits based upon the Fulton County Code of Ordinances and Code of Resolutions, Chapter 34, Health and Sanitation. HACCP is the acronym for Hazard Analysis Critical Control Points. The 7 principles of HACCP were created by the National Advisory Committee on Microbiological Criteria for Foods. The purpose of this science-based approach to food safety is to ensure universal standards for the safe handling, preparation, and serving of food to the public. Prevention is the ideal goal, so under a HACCP system, potential biological, chemical, or physical hazards can be eliminated or reduced to safe levels before they can do harm. The first place you will want to go when considering developing a HACCP plan is the Fulton County Environmental Health Services Division. Now to the 7 HACCP principles. The first principle of HACCP is conduct a hazard analysis. A food safety team or manager develops a list of hazards that might cause injury or illness if not controlled. For each step of the process, receiving the ingredients and raw materials, to storage of the products, to preparation of the food and use by the consumer, there should be a list of potential hazards. Make a list of the hazards, then list the measures that will be used to control them. Completion of Principle 1 positions your team for Principle 2, determining the critical control point, known in the industry as CCPs. A critical control point is that point in time where control can be applied to prevent, eliminate, or reduce a hazard to a non-threatening or acceptable level. For example, thorough hand washing is a preventive critical control point. Refrigeration is a critical control point because that can prevent hazardous microorganisms from growing or multiplying. Cooking is a CCP also because at the proper temperature it can kill pathogens that might otherwise survive the cooking process. CCPs must be carefully developed, documented, and used only for purposes of product safety. Food service establishments will no doubt identify different hazards and steps which are critical control points. CCPs vary based on a variety of items such as different floor plans, equipment, selection of ingredients, and processes. The third principle of HACCP is to establish critical limits. Each CCP or critical control point will have one or more control measures. Each control measure will have one or more critical limits. Critical limits are used to distinguish between safe and unsafe conditions at a critical control point. They are measures of the maximum or minimum values at which a hazard must be controlled at the CCP to prevent, eliminate, or lessen the likelihood of a food safety hazard occurring. Critical limits must have a scientific foundation and are based on factors such as temperature, time, the concentration of salt, preservatives, or sensory information such as aroma or visual appearance. Here, Chef Engelbert checks the temperature of the baked chicken he's preparing. Establishing monitoring procedures is the fourth principle of HACCP. Though fairly self-explanatory, this step is an important component of the food safety management process. Monitoring serves 3 essential purposes. It helps you keep track of your operation. It helps determine when there is a loss of control at a critical control point. And it provides written documentation verifying the corrective actions you have taken to ensure the safety of the food you serve to the public. The staff member designated to monitor CCPs should be trained regarding the purpose and importance of this task. He or she should maintain accurate records and when necessary, use properly calibrated equipment to record results. Monitoring procedures should be reliable and continuous. Should there be a loss of control, the monitor must report any process or product that does not meet critical limits and take immediate corrective action. The fifth HACCP principle is to establish corrective actions. These plans, prepared in advance for each CCP, should specify the what, who, and when of the actions that will be taken when a critical limit is not met. The corrective plans lay out what is done when a deviation occurs, who is responsible for carrying out the actions to correct it, and document when the actions were taken. When Chef Engelbert checks the baked chicken he's preparing, he determines the proper temperature has not been reached. He must then decide what corrective action he must take to remedy the situation. The chef decides to place the chicken back into the oven until it reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds, thus ensuring any pathogens are destroyed. Corrective actions are another line of defense to prevent foods which may be hazardous from reaching the public. Principle number 6 is to establish verification procedures. Now that you have the nuts and bolts of your plan in place, you must verify that the system is operating as you intended. Be clear that the plan is scientifically and technically sound, that your time and temperature devices are accurate, and set up a schedule to review your system. Regular checks by your in-house HACCP authority should be augmented by a periodic independent, unbiased, and comprehensive review. The Environmental Health Services Division of Fulton County Health Services can provide verification assistance. The seventh and last principle of HACCP is to establish record-keeping and documentation procedures. Your HACCP system record should include flowcharts, time and temperature logs, and checklists so employees can easily record hazard control methods and any corrective actions that may have been taken. During the health inspection of your establishment, you will be asked to present your food monitoring records to ensure your HACCP procedures are being followed and that they comply with local food safety codes. The Fulton County Environmental Health Services Division is available to assist you with determining whether you are required to have a HACCP plan, can review your plan, and monitors compliance of your plan. Our offices are conveniently located in the south, central, and northern areas of the county. You may call any of the numbers listed here for assistance. Remember, in Fulton, we are your county at your service.